It's been a little bit more than 3 weeks since the tragic and 100% needless shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, and a lot has happened. There's been many developments since then. Joining us on the program now to discuss is the aunt of Jacob Blake, as well as a retired litigator, Nicki Blake. Welcome to the Damage Report.
Hi, how are you?
I'm as good as anyone can be expected to be in 2020. As I was saying when we were talking, my heart goes out to your entire extended family. I can only imagine what things have been like. Can you tell us a little bit about Jacob's condition? How have things developed over the past few weeks?
I am in a situation where I have sort of developed part of the West Coast response to this, but my family, my Midwest family and I are estranged, so I'm not on the inside of that information.
Okay, and I know
I'm hoping that this tragic situation will bring my family together.
And I know that you've been speaking out, giving speeches, in the wake of that incident. Can you tell me a little bit about some of that, about what you've been, sort of hoping to accomplish in some of these efforts?
Yes, in 2017, I left the law in the middle of a trial, in part because I didn't any longer want to be the blackface of the law in Seattle when the law couldn't stop killing black men, right? So it's like my own personal demons have come to roost with me here.
I was watching an interview that you gave where I think you said something to the effect of, it was your family's turn, which is, it's heartbreaking. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. When my alumnus called me, he told me that my brother was dead, but there's actually a bunch of people in my family who have the same name. I think we think it's sort of a gifted name because my father ate at the White House for the work he did during the King era, and my brother's name is Jacob Stephen Blake III. My father's name was Jacob Stephen Blake Jr. And so when my alum was driving home from work on a late night shift, he heard that Jacob Blake had been shot in Kenosha. He thought it was my brother, and he thought shot meant dead. So I thought my brother had been killed. But he said, hold on, because you know how many Jake Blakes are in your family. Let's hold and see who it is. So I didn't hold on because I lived my life out loud on Facebook, and I posted that my brother had been shot dead. The Midwest family was quick to clarify that it was not my brother, it was my nephew, and he was alive.
You mentioned why you left.
Why I wasn't surprised. I'm not surprised because I'm not surprised. I mean, because black people get shot by police in America, and black people are ready to get shot by police in America. I figured it was my family's turn. Again, I mean, my family has been very revolutionary since I was in utero. I mean, I was marching in utero to turn my hometown, Evanston, Illinois, integrated. And so at least since '68, my family has been working on these issues. So it's not surprising that it would fit our family, that it would zone in on our family or any black family. We're all expecting to get shot now. America needs to know that.
And when I think of the number of different incidents just during the most recent social movement that's been going on, the number of horrible incidents, as you pointed out, your family has been working on this. Many people have been working to fix the situation for decades and decades. What do you think about the social movement, even the protests that have sprung up, in Kenosha since then? Do you feel like there is a chance that this will break through and finally help to fix the situation?
I've very snidely been saying for a long time they've finally screwed with the wrong family, right? But I actually felt like George Floyd was the family that was actually getting us changing, and I'm surprised a little bit that after, right in the middle of Floyd, we're dealing with the same stuff. We're not even done protesting Floyd. Seattle couldn't protest my brother. Because my brother's boys, because they were protesting Floyd. We couldn't siphon off any of the people over from Floyd to deal with Blake. This is getting ridiculous.
It's just, like you say, you don't even have proper time to grieve because of how quickly these come. And then you have the people who are in charge who hypothetically could do something. So few seem to really care, to really think that something needs to happen. I heard Attorney General William Barr, who was saying, these are just a couple of different incidents. It's not anything like a wave. I mean, I imagine it must be disheartening to hear those who are in charge, the most important law enforcement officers in our country, implying that there's no basis for these protests, that it's people who are taking something more seriously than it should be.
The one who is protesting right now about Jake Blake is surprised by anything Mr. Barr says.
Yeah. And I assume probably doesn't put too much value on anything Mr. Barr says, considering his record on this topic.
Nothing coming out of the White House surprises anybody who's not a Trump supporter.
Do you think, we have the social movement is going on. We're in the run up to an election. If somehow, if Donald Trump does lose and Joe Biden becomes president, what do you think about the prospects for change across the country in this area in terms of police brutality and bias in law enforcement?
Police brutality against black men does not improve during Democratic administrations.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that he might be willing to do something, to enact some sort of federal regulations on police departments, or do you think that it's unlikely to make much of a difference?
One of the things that's happened in my small West Coast family is that I've continued to express despair in public. My trans man son has gotten angry at me for doing that, right? So he came out and started making statements. He's made a statement to the Advocate and to the Pink Times, which is sort of the European Advocate, saying that even though his mother doesn't have hope, he has hope. Mm-hmm. So after he made those statements, the Breitbart set started attacking his life, harassing him. He's really become, both me and him have become a focus of the people who criticize Trump. And the part that makes me so very sad about that is I'm a very political person. I've always been political. My kid's not political. He just got angry that I appeared to have no hope for the future. And he said, Mom, if you have no hope, the kids will have no hope. So you have to have hope for the kids. So I'm the person who always tells my truth. I do not have any more hope, really, except for in the kids of the future. Eliot wrote a small poem about the hope he had and the hope that when his generation is charged, they will change the future, only to find commentary saying if he were in their jurisdiction, they'd kick him in the balls. That I think it would make sense to be angry at me because I'm not scared of him. I don't give a. I mean, if it's time to die, it's time to die. There are worse things to die for than this. Mm-hmm. But one doesn't want one's college freshman, the first time they make a political statement and a statement of hope, to have their life threatened by trolls on the internet.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything that's off limits, anything that's sacred. Those who are fighting on the opposite side can be absolutely brutal, and it's insult to injury considering all that you and your family have already been through. So my heart really does go out to you as you continue to process this, continue to try to push in the right direction, push for change. I'm so sorry for all that you've gone through, Nicki.
I will not stop talking about how evil this is.
And nor should you.
Me into the grave. I will go into the grave. My child appears going into his sophomore year of college to have the same reserve, but he didn't when he first got the responses. He told me he was very scared, but it seems like their response caused a response from our left, or from the far left, I believe, and he feels wrapped in the safety of that.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly a silver lining.
A poem that he wrote about hope. I mean, I
exactly
assume that if they were mad at me, that would make sense. I've been trolling Trombies since 2016, but if they're mad at him, that doesn't make any sense. All he said was that we should have hope, that we shouldn't be hopeless, that this is not a thing that we can't change.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Nicki Blake, I want to thank you once again for joining us and telling us a little bit about what you've been going through, what you and your family have been going through. We really do appreciate it, and we hope that in some way things get better or at least easier for you.
Thank you very much.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.